Okay, so we move to Bretonnian turn 2. So obviously there's a bunch of charges there in the middle. I wanted my Knights Errant into the flank of that Unitosaurus. I need to get him dead and out of the way, and with all my knights there, I like that. The big block of Knights of the Realm is also in that combat, although I'm only getting attacks from my right side, but that's still, a fair number of attacks, plus the extra battle standard bearer combat resolution. So with all that, I'm pretty sure I can beat these guys, but the problem is I need to beat them and overrun and actually get my Knights Errant into that other Unitosaurus warriors. Otherwise, he's going to get the charge, and it's not going to be pretty for me. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous about that there. If you look on the right with my Pegasus Knight champion near my my prophetess, basically during his shooting phase, he killed everybody in there. So I've got this one champion with just one wound left. So he had rallied, and because he's fast cav, was able to fly. So I flew him over here near my prophetess so that when she's casting spells, she can put another wound on him, and she may be able to regrow him if I roll enough power dice. So that's why he's over there. Took my general, if you look at the top right, took him behind his lines. I'm thinking I'm probably going to hope for a rear charge into his Stegodon on my next turn, but he's also capable of helping out if I get in a fight with the Temple Guard. So another close-up picture. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so after the fight, yeah, I beat him pretty easily. I think I only lost 1 man-at-arms, but one reason for that is they had the +2 toughness spell. That's that little beige markers marking. So that helped out tremendously. Between that and the ward save, really saved a lot of wounds. So ran him down, and I was able to get the Knights Errant into the flank of the Source Warriors. I pursued with the Knights of the Realm as well, but they didn't have the distance to make it, and the Knights Errant were in their way regardless. So they're just kind of hanging out, and then we just shifted them over to make sure there was an inch between units. And he's obviously going to charge my men-at-arms, but that's kind of what men-at-arms are for, and that's okay. And my Knights of the Realm unit is protected except from the Salamanders. So really can't complain too much about how that turned out. I think that's a duplicate picture. Okay, so Lizardmen turn 3. So his Temple Guard and his Stegodon go into the flank of that men-at-arms unit. And again, for the most part, I'm okay with that. I think I'm probably going to hold, and if I don't hold, they'll run away from the Temple Guard and hopefully run far enough that he won't be able to countercharge on his, in a couple turns. He'll have to move around before he can charge my knights. So, yeah. The bad news is he brings his Salamanders up, and he's going to regrow one and then do a lot of Spitfire damage on my Knight of the Realm unit. So, yeah, not really looking forward to that. Not a whole lot going on. He's trying to get his skinks here around so they can pick off that last trebuchet. At this point, the trebuchet is not going to do a whole lot of good for me. So you can see he's got that Salamander back. He did a lot of shooting, and my unit's down considerably. It was 6 guys I think I lost, but they did pass their panic test, I mean. And at the end of the battle, yeah, he wiped out the men-at-arms pretty easily, actually. But like I said, he pursued him to chase him down, and so it's my turn next anyway, so I would have been able to move. But I like that he moved past me because I don't really care if these guys charge my peasant bowman. I don't care in the slightest, and I can get my prophetess and my Pegasus Knight out of the way. So yeah, I'm okay with that. So on Brett turn 3, like I said, I moved my prophetess and my Pegasus Knight out of the way. I'm keeping the knight near my prophetess so that she can heal him. My general's in the rear of the Stegodon. He's a monster killer, so he's got good odds of taking that thing down. Knights of the Realm went ahead and charged one of the Salamander units, and during his phase, I forgot to mention this, during his phase we actually did the combat for my Knights Errant into his Saurus Spears, and he did 0 wounds on me. So I did enough wounds on him, broke him, ran him down, so on my turn I really just did a swift reform and moved up a little bit. Pretty unfortunate on his part. I don't know how many wounds, math hammer wise, he should have gotten, but I would expect him normally to get some on me. And if he had done even 1 wound, I don't remember how many I killed on from him. I may have killed enough that one wound would have kept him steadfast, but I don't know. Regardless, he kind of failed that. So close up down here, close ups all the way around. Nothing really to do with my trebuchet. I didn't want to throw rocks near my guys, and there was no target worth going except for a salamander. So I just turned and landed a stone on these skinks and killed some. So during the magic phase, threw 5 dice at dwellers below, and it was so fun. The spell before that, I was trying to do the 2d6 strength 4 hits on my Knight of the Realm unit. That it would have hurt the salamander unit, and he used all his dispel dice to stop it. And I at the time it kind of seemed to make sense, because what else am I really gonna do with it? And he wasn't thinking that I had Dwellers Below, because I hadn't been able to cast it yet because I hadn't been in range. Although I shared that with him at the beginning of the game. Who remembers that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, so I throw 5 dice at Dwellers Below. It goes off, and his Slan fails his Strength 3 and failed Strength 3 strength test. So he dies, as does a fair number of the Temple Guard, and that's really the beginning of the end. It's actually pretty close to the end of the end once that happens. There's the same view, just a side view of it. I think that's a beautifully painted Stegodon. His Temple Guard's beautiful. And it looks like my general's not in contact, but he is. And he's about to get Killing Blow on that thing. Knights of the Realm make short work of the Salamanders, and they overrun and just barely clip this other unit, so I was able to redirect into them. And I'm just going to call that the end of the game. I got a Killing Blow on the Stegodon, so he was looking at it, and he had nothing left. He had a Salamander crew that was likely about to get killed by my Knights of the Realm. He had Temple Guard that might be able to charge my Bowmen, but regardless, they're not going to stand up against everything I have left. And then he has a few skinks on the right. So at this point, time was an issue, and so he just conceded, and I got full points for the victory. So pretty happy with how that turned out, obviously. I think it started off not horribly for me, but losing my Questy Knights, and then my I was hoping for more from my Pegasus Knights on the left, and then losing a Trebuchet off the bat. I mean, some little things were going wrong for me up front, but none of that compares to his Slan losing, to me being able to get Dwellers Below off, and his Slan failing his strength test, which really just sealed the deal for it. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.